Hey there, this is the second part of an 8-part boss series for the new mega dungeon, Dawn of the Infinite. The second boss of the dungeon is Manifested Timeways, a sand and time themed boss with 4 main mechanics. What you're going to notice immediately is that there are 4 quadrants in which the floor is split into. There's 2 reddish ones and 2 yellowish white ones. Just as a general rule of thumb, stay in the reddish one as much as you can. The other 3 mechanics are, 1, this Fragments of Time ability where she's going to spin a bunch of sand orbs out in a spiral, and if you're standing in the red section, they go slower and are much easier to dodge. The red section also gives a damage reduction buff. The second move here is Chrono Faded, which you can see that I'm actually targeted with now given the yellow arrow above my head. Before this debuff wears off, I want to stand in the whitish part of the room. You'll see that it sends out this very fast explosion that does a lot of damage. Trust me, if you're standing in the white part, it's way better. If you wind up letting that Chrono Faded debuff expire on you while you're in the red section, it creates this very slow circle that has a potential to wipe the whole group. You'll see my group screw this up a little bit later on. So right here, you're going to be seeing another set of Chrono Faded come out, and watch the 2 players with yellow arrows above their heads. Within a few seconds, they should both be in the white section, which they're not, and see what happens when they're both launch it off in the red section. It goes really, really slow, and each tick of being inside this circle does massive damage. So you'll see me use a heroic leap to actually get over it and stay alive, but one of my group members does die. The last mechanic here that I haven't touched on, but you might have seen a couple times, is called Unwind, and it's essentially a large frontal cone that's on the tank. So the tank should always stay on the opposite side of the boss from everyone else, all the DPS and the healer. You'll see that come out right here. It's a giant frontal sand cone. Once again, as long as everyone is staying in the red for as much of the fight as they can, and then just dipping over into the white section before their Chrono Faded debuff wears off, then this fight is a breeze. It's rinse repeat, and when the Fragments of Time spiral comes out, just remember to stay in the red section and do your best to dodge it. You'll see I kind of have this method down to dodge it where I'm always tailing one side of the white and red section so that I can just dip over into the gap really quick once the gap happens and dip right back over into my defensive quadrant. You'll see I moved right back into the yellowish white section to get rid of my Chrono Faded. You'll see how fast my circle went away as compared to the tank over there who has this slow circle that's been coming out for a while now. Since by now we've seen all the mechanics and it's really essentially just a rinse and repeat from here on out, I just want to take this last couple seconds to say that I'm going to continue to release boss videos like this for each one of the 8 bosses in this new mega dungeon, so make sure to tune back in if you like what you saw, and please click the subscribe button. Trying to get to that 5,000 subscriber mark. That's the best way to show your support for my channel and these kinds of videos. Now you may have even noticed while I was rambling there and doing a shameless self-promotion that our healer died during this fight, and yet we're still going to complete it and be just fine. Really, there's not too much danger in this fight as long as you're performing the mechanics correctly. I always think that boss fights have good mechanics and good design if you're able to dodge most of the damage in it by just performing well. Now of course I do get pretty low here, but I have good self-healing as a warrior and we wind up taking down the boss no problem. So that'll be that for this video. Make sure to tune back in for the 3rd boss in this boss fight series for the new mega dungeon, Dawn of the Infinite. Take care.